Welcome back to LeapTalk English, where real conversations help your English grow naturally. I'm Mary.
And I'm Albert. And Mary, I want to start today with a confession that I think a lot of people in 2026 are going to relate to very strongly.
Go ahead, Albert. We're ready.
Last month, I caught myself scrolling on my phone at 1 a.m. again, even though I had an important meeting the next day. I told myself just 5 more minutes for almost an hour. And the worst part? I felt exhausted the whole next day, but I still checked my notifications first thing in the morning.
And what happened after that?
I finally admitted to a friend over coffee that I feel mentally tired all the time, not from working too hard, but from being on all the time. He looked at me and said, "Same. I thought it was just me." In 10 minutes, we both felt a bit lighter just by saying it out loud.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Weeks of feeling drained, and just naming it helped.
And I think most people listening right now have had a version of that exact experience. Feeling constantly overwhelmed by screens, notifications, AI tools at work, and the pressure to reply instantly, even when you're supposed to be resting.
But we don't talk about it openly. So many of us just push through. And today we want to understand why digital burnout feels so normal in 2026.
Because it is not random. The reasons we struggle with constant connectivity go surprisingly deep, and understanding them, really understanding them, can genuinely change how you move through your days.
So today we are asking, why does digital burnout feel so hard to escape? And what does it actually take to feel more rested and present again?
As always, we are doing this in clear, natural B2 level English. Just relax, follow the conversation, and let your English grow naturally as you listen.
And stay with us until the end for our word tour, where we slow down and explain the most useful words and phrases from today's conversation.
And before we begin, we would love to hear from you. Do you feel digitally burned out these days? Or do you have a small habit that helps you feel more balanced? Leave us a comment. We genuinely want to know.
All right, let's get into it.
So, Albert, let's start with something that I think is really important to name clearly. Feeling burned out from digital life is one of the most common experiences right now, and yet almost nobody talks about it directly at work or even with friends.
Because talking about it would mean admitting you're not handling the always available world perfectly, which is, ironically, exactly the thing that feels hard to say.
The perfect trap.
The perfect trap. You need a break from being always connected, but taking a break feels impossible when everything is online.
Which is too many layers for a Monday morning.
Or any morning, honestly. But let's start with what I think is the deepest reason, the one that sits underneath most of the others.
Which is...
The equation many people unconsciously make between being always available and being productive or successful.
Yes, this one is so fundamental.
Because somewhere, often influenced by social media and work culture, many people absorbed the message that the most successful people answer emails at midnight, post every day, and never miss a notification. Resting or logging off starts to feel like falling behind.
And once that equation is in place, even if you never consciously agreed to it, putting your phone down starts to feel like an admission. I am not as driven or capable as I should be.
And that feels threatening, because for most people, their sense of being on top of things is tied to how quickly they respond.
If I can't keep up with everything online, what does that say about me?
And the answer the brain gives quietly, quickly, automatically is something unflattering. So rather than risk that feeling, people just keep scrolling and replying.
Even when it's clearly making them more tired.
Even then, because the discomfort of digital exhaustion feels safer than the discomfort of being seen as someone who can't handle modern life.
And I want to say something clearly here, because I think this belief that constant connectivity equals success is not just wrong, it is exactly backwards.
Say more about that.
Research on high-performing people in 2026 consistently shows that one of the most reliable markers of real productivity and creativity is the ability to protect your focus and take real breaks from screens.
The people who set boundaries with technology often get better results, not worse.
Being constantly online is not the behavior of someone who is unstoppable. It is often the behavior of someone who is afraid of missing out or falling behind.
The people who never log off, who insist on being available 24/7, they are sometimes not the most productive. They are sometimes just the most exhausted.
And the cost of that exhaustion is enormous in energy, in focus, in creativity, and quality of life.
So that is the first layer, the belief that being always connected means success. But there's a second layer, and this one is about something different.
Fear of missing out, or FOMO.
Right. It's not laziness. People who worry about missing out are often deeply curious and social. They want to stay informed, stay part of the conversation, and not feel left behind in a fast-moving world.
But when it becomes a reason to never truly switch off, when it becomes a wall between you and real rest, it stops being connection and starts being isolation from yourself.
And the painful irony is this. Most people dramatically overestimate how much they will actually miss if they step away for a few hours or a whole evening.
Studies show that when people take intentional breaks from social media, they often feel more present and even learn new things in real life. The world keeps turning, and they feel better, not worse.
Which is almost never what the scrolling brain imagines.
So there's a significant mismatch between the reality of logging off, which is usually peaceful, and the imagined reality, which feels scary.
And then there's a third layer, one that I think is particularly relevant right now with AI everywhere.
Which is...
Not knowing how to create healthy boundaries.
And this one doesn't get enough attention.
A lot of people know intellectually that too much screen time is not good for them. They believe it. They could write a convincing essay about digital wellness. And then the moment arrives when they could put the phone down and they freeze because they don't know how to do it without feeling guilty or bored.
And because they don't know how, they delay. The delay becomes another scroll. The scroll becomes another exhausted day.
And this is something that genuinely can be learned. Setting digital boundaries is a skill, like any other. It has techniques, it has small steps. It gets easier with practice.
So what does actually help? What makes protecting your energy feel less impossible?
I think the first thing is reframing what logging off actually signals about you. Not laziness, not falling behind, but clarity. The clarity to know what your mind and body actually need.
Because when you reframe it that way, taking a break stops feeling like weakness and starts feeling like a smart decision.
And the second thing is starting small. If a full digital detox feels too big, start with something genuinely small. One meal without your phone, one evening with notifications off, something low stakes.
And notice what happens. Notice that the world does not end. Notice that you did not miss anything urgent. Notice that you actually felt more present.
Because every small boundary builds evidence against the story your brain has been telling. And evidence, accumulated over time, is how you change a habit.
And the third thing, and this one is perhaps the most practical, is learning a few simple phrases and habits that make boundaries feel natural.
Instead of, I have to reply to everyone immediately, which creates pressure, you can say to yourself, I will check messages at set times. Or tell a colleague, I'll get back to you by tomorrow morning. I want to give this my full attention later.
Or simply, I'm stepping away from screens for a bit to recharge. Let's catch up soon.
And the fourth thing, and I think this is the most important of all, is practicing the belief you deserve real rest.
Not because you have earned it by being productive enough, not because your burnout is serious enough, but simply because you are a person and people need downtime. That is not a weakness. That is the most fundamental truth of human energy.
We are not designed to be on 24/7. We are designed neurologically, emotionally, evolutionarily for rhythms, for work and rest, for connection and quiet.
Protecting your digital energy is not going against modern life. It's working with your human design.
And the version of you that takes breaks, that puts the phone down, that chooses presence, that version is not smaller. It is wiser and calmer and far more likely to actually enjoy whatever it is you're doing.
Okay, let's go into our word tour.
Let's do it.
Word tour. First word, drained. When you feel drained, you feel completely without energy, like your battery is empty.
For example, many people feel mentally drained after hours of scrolling even though they didn't do heavy work. Or, after a long week of meetings and notifications, I often feel drained by Friday evening. Repeat after us. Drained.
Drained.
Next, overwhelmed. Overwhelmed means feeling buried by too many things at once so that it is hard to think clearly.
For example, constant notifications can make you feel overwhelmed even on a quiet day. Or, she felt overwhelmed by the number of AI tools she was expected to learn at work. Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed.
Next, boundary. A boundary is a clear limit that protects your time, energy, or space.
For example, setting a digital boundary like no phone in the bedroom helped him sleep better. Or, healthy boundaries with technology are essential for preventing burnout. Repeat, boundary.
Boundary.
Next, mismatch. A mismatch is a significant difference between what we expect and what actually happens.
For example, there is often a mismatch between how relaxing we think scrolling will be and how drained we actually feel afterwards. Repeat, mismatch.
Mismatch.
Next, reframe. To reframe something means to think about it or present it in a different way that changes its meaning.
For example, reframing rest as a productive choice rather than laziness made it easier for him to take breaks. Repeat, reframe.
Reframe.
Next, recharge. To recharge means to restore your energy after feeling tired or drained.
For example, a short walk without my phone helps me recharge better than scrolling. Or, we all need time to recharge if we want to stay creative in our digital world. Repeat, recharge.
Recharge.
And finally, present. When you are present, you are fully focused on the current moment instead of thinking about the past, future, or your phone.
For example, putting my phone away during dinner helps me feel more present with my family. Or, practicing being present is one of the best ways to reduce digital burnout. Repeat, present.
Present. And those were today's word tour words and phrases.
Together, they capture everything we explored today. Why digital burnout feels so common in 2026, where that difficulty comes from, and what it actually looks like to protect your energy with a little more awareness and courage.
And wherever you are today, if you have been feeling constantly drained or overwhelmed by screens, consider this your gentle reminder. You are allowed to step away and recharge.
You always were.
This is Mary.
And this is Albert. Thank you so much for listening to LeapTalk English. We will see you in the next one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.